Beth Haney, how are you?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm doing swimmingly. Thank you for being so accommodating with the timing. I know I'm running like a million miles an hour. Thank you for your grace and flexibility.
Oh, no problem. No problem at all.
It's been a bit to get everybody in. So you are running for Eagle City Council.
Yes.
Why are you running for Eagle City Council?
Well, we moved here. And then I thought, I'm going to retire because I was super busy in Yorba Linda, and I was mayor and city councilwoman, and then also teaching at USC. And I thought, we're going to move to Idaho and I'm going to retire. And then as we were traveling back and forth and commuting back and forth and learning more about Eagle, I thought, gosh, I've seen changes. In 2021, I saw some changes going on in the downtown area. And then I thought, well, since I'm still on my current city council, I'm going to start learning about this one. And so I just started learning about Eagle and what was going on. And I still thought we're in good hands. We've got some good leadership going on. It's fine. And then before I moved here permanently, so in 2022, 2023, I got involved with, I'm a nurse practitioner. So I got involved in my state nurse practitioner organization. So I serve as treasurer of that organization. And then
Is that the California NP Association or something?
It was. I was president of that association.
Gotcha.
But this one, it's the Idaho.
Gotcha.
The Nurse Practitioners of Idaho. So a couple of years ago, I joined just because I wanted to get involved with that organization. And then at the same time, also wanted to get involved with the city, just starting to learn about it a little bit more, just because I was familiar with it. I know how to read agendas. I know how to, look at budgets and all that stuff. So I thought, I'm going to check this out. So I did. And then in California, I was also on the GOP County Central Committee as an elected member. And I thought, well, that's another place to learn about the politics of Idaho and the city of Eagle and the county, Ada County, and start learning about that stuff. So I became a member, or I started attending those meetings at the county, and just being, like I said, attending the meetings, and people started noticing that I was there. And then I became an alternate member of the Ada County GOP. And then
is that like if a precinct committee person falls out, you're the alternate that sits in? Gotcha.
Yes, exactly. And so
I'm sorry, I don't know all the nuances there. Yeah.
No. Well, that's why I started to get involved. And so then just being, going to the meetings, those meetings, learning about the local politics and stuff, a couple of the leadership asked me to run for sewer board. And I was like, okay, well, that sounds interesting. Oh, except for we're on septic, so I can't run for sewer board. And they're like, that's okay. We need good people to run for Eagle City Council. And I was like, well, I was kind of been there, done that. Not sure that I want to do that. I wanted to come to Eagle to retire and just kind of see what's going on. And they encouraged me to do it. And then some of my neighbors encouraged me to do it. And so I was like, okay, I looked to see who else was running, and that was me and one other person. And I thought, okay, well, there's 2 open seats because the 2 current council members are not running. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'll throw my hat in the ring. And I did. And then as it turned out, now there's 7 of us running.
That's a lot of people.
So it's kind of like,
who was the other person at the time when you were filing? Who was the only other person?
I think it was Steve Bender.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And so anyway, so that's what happened. And plus, though, Matt, I also have a heart of service. And I know that sounds so cliche, but it's true. It seems like everywhere I go, I want to contribute to the community. And that's just part of my DNA, I guess. I don't know.
Gotcha. Listen, I got it. I have an appreciation for that. Here's a random question, and it's one that I've not been able to ask other people, and you obviously are one that could answer it. What are the big differences that you see between Eagle and Yorba Linda as far as government concern?
Oh, gosh. I'll tell you, they are so similar. I mean, the tax code is a little bit different, but they are so similar. When we were driving around, I was when we were looking at property in 2020, it was like, oh my gosh, this place looks exactly like Yorba Linda 30 years ago. So they're very, very similar. The budgets are, our budget in Yorba Linda was larger because our population is about 70,000. But The budget is very similar. Yorba Linda, we didn't spend money we didn't have. We saved a lot. For example, our gorgeous public library that we opened in 2020, we didn't have to borrow anything. We put out a bond, and then that was done. We had $25 million saved to, from the library fund to take care of that. And so in Eagle, they're also pretty financially secure. I mean, the costs are going up, of course. Revenue might be coming down a little bit, but there's all kinds of impact fees that are going to help out with some of that stuff. So
here's a question for you. One of the biggest problems that local municipalities have, especially with growth, is House Bill 389, right? Which hampers Bill 389, which hampers the capacity to increase revenues that grow disproportionate with the population and needs. But like when you're dealing, and this is a big problem in all areas, but like Star, for instance, is really exploding and their budget's not going up. So do you see that being a factor in Eagle as well?
As far as like all of the growth?
Right. Well, that specifically the inability to raise budgets beyond a certain percentage, not proportionate with population or needs.
Yeah. So for me, except I'm also a small business owner. I've owned a business for 20 years in California. And then if you can own a business in California, I swear, I think you can own a business anywhere because it is so hard there. And so I have a small business here in Eagle as well. And
what happened to the retirement plan?
I know. That's what I mean. It's like, oh my gosh.
Put your feet up.
I wanted to, believe me. And I have a horse too. So I wanted to, ride her more often. But anyhow, so the how I look at things is through a business owner lens. And so for Eagle, with the expenses increasing, we're limited as far as how much we can, tax or raise revenue. There's other ways you can do it. You can save some money doing some things, asking for like volunteers to help out for certain things. There's community events that we would have in Yorba Linda that would help offset some of the cost of improving some of the community areas, which was amazing. It was
like community fundraisers for parks or something.
No, it was where we would ask for volunteers, and it's a whole program.
Oh,
yeah, it's a whole program that would help the city. And it was super successful, and that's something I would like to implement here if I get elected. So I don't want to give away too many secrets of that, but that is definitely something that would help. And then, so you can go through like some of the city budgets and see where we're spending maybe a lot of money on. For example, if you go through the infrastructure or the buildings, where can you save money there? Where can you save money on staffing?
Is there anywhere in Eagle that you feel like we could save?
I'm not sure. I know that we have some contract employees or not even employees, like some contractors that work for the city. And what we found in Yorba Linda was that when we made positions for employees, there was a lot less turnover. There was a lot less retraining. Because that always costs money too, as far as like for city engineers and things like that. And so,
so with contract, it sounds like you're saying you have contract people, and you would make a full-time in-house position for those people, so you wouldn't have to train the contractors.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean that is part of it.
Gotcha.
Definitely. And so it's just something where you would look and see where we could save money. If we can't increase revenue, something's got to give, especially if we need more services.
Sure.
So
Sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of services, one of the big issues back in 23 was the annexation of Avamore into the city of Eagle.
Mm-hmm. I watched all that.
Right. It was, it was wild times.
It was.
People felt really strongly both ways. And you had a large in-person, when they took essentially open comment, like hundreds of people showed up. And anyway, there was a lot that went in there. One of the big problems with annexing Avamore that some people articulated was that because you're increasing the geographic area of the city, you're also going to be increasing the need for patrol, from the Eagle department. So what do you think about Avamore? Do you think it was a good idea, bad idea?
Well, it's kind of in the, I don't want to say it's in the past because it's definitely here and it's growing, it's moving forward. I was actually for the annexation for several reasons. And one is that it's going there anyway. And this brings me to another point, just really quick, I want to say, if residents and the people of Eagle understand like what is happening and why things are happening, it's a lot easier for things to move forward if they need to. And so that was one of my big things with my previous city, is that being open and transparent and accessible to the people so that they can ask any questions they want. But also I would be proactive and have, neighborhood meetings and go out and talk to them so that they understand what's going on. And that's one thing with this Avamore thing, because I was watching those city council meetings online and I was like, oh boy, it didn't feel like there was a lot of outreach to me from the city leadership. Maybe there was, I don't know. I just didn't see a lot.
Sure.
But
you thought it was a good thing to do because Avamore was going to go there.
It's coming.
Anyway.
It was going to be there anyway.
Okay. So what's the value? If I may ask, I've heard this. So like Avamore is happening. It's like, okay, Garden City's happening.
Yeah.
Like Star is happening. Yes. We don't have control over that. And I've never heard somebody say like, gosh, if only Star would listen to us with development, we would all be better off. So like, I understand that Avamore as a development was coming on, but what's the value proposition for the Eagle citizen to have Avamore be part of the city?
So it also raises some revenue, for that and for the city. It's gives those people a chance to, the people that move into Avamore, they would also have influence for, how the city is moving forward with different things.
Yeah, but if Avamore is not in the city of Eagle, who cares what the Avamore residents?
Oh, because sorry, sorry.
Like,
because
I get it now, and I'm not poo-pooing on them now. I'm just saying, like at the time, it's like, listen, if you're not part of the city, why do I care about you?
Yeah, and so because Avamore, the city of Eagle and the residents of Eagle would have some input on like how the density works, how the design phases go, different things like that, so that they have a little bit of control. So the owners of Avamore, who I've actually spoken with, they, the developers, because I feel like you need to understand what's going on from all sides so 100%. That you can have a more robust conversation with people. And so they actually asked the city of Eagle to take them in, because otherwise they were going to be like in 3 counties jurisdiction. And so then that would just be a total nightmare for everyone. And
they need water, right? So like, I understand why it would be beneficial to the developer. I'm just wondering, it was like, okay, but I've never heard somebody in Eagle be like, I'm so happy that I get a say in how that guy's front yard looks way up there, right? Because like, I could even understand the point where it's like, yeah, but look, we're all on the flats here and like that. I don't want, like some high rise right at the city limit, but it's like, you can't see it from Eagle.
Well, the thing is though, too, is that the city can have input on roads and different areas, like how to maybe calm traffic or get traffic away from certain spots. If we have some say so, at least we can have some input on the direction that the thing is going to go. Gotcha. Otherwise, it's like, it's happening. We can either let it happen to us or we can have a little bit of input to it.
Gotcha. So you feel like there is value. Like if you had like a bunch of Eagle citizens, you're like, guys, look, here's the benefit. We get to be concerned with the traffic pattern up the hill now. And before we didn't. And that is a value that you feel is significant.
Definitely. And plus, I'd rather Eagle was in charge versus any other surrounding city or county. I think.
Why is that?
I think the residents of Eagle they're very high expectation. I think that they have some great ideas, and I think that they would provide the best, all around general guidance for the appearance and stuff of Avamore.
One concern with Avamore was the services, right? So do you think that we're at a good position with our city services as far as like EMS stuff, or do you think that needs to be improved or changed?
Gosh, that's tough just because, of course, when the population grows, we feel like, and there's a necessity for increasing law enforcement and emergency medical services. So, but it also has to be analyzed. You have to really, what we might feel is what is necessary. When you actually analyze the numbers, sometimes it tells a different story. So that's something that I would definitely want to look at. Oh gosh, what was I going to say about the law enforcement? So with law enforcement though, like as our whole city is growing, first of all, public safety, top priority, has to be. If you don't have a safe neighborhood and safe city,
Sure.
you don't have anything. So that's always, that's a given. It's top priority. But when, as far as like spending more money to get more officers, we need to know if we in fact need them. But second, there's other ways that we can help mitigate crime and kind of help the city. And those are ways like, being a nurse practitioner, it's like prevention is the biggest thing. So if you can prevent that stuff, that'd be awesome. And so if you prevent it through, say, school programs.
What do you mean?
Like if you're telling kids to stay off drugs, belong to a sports team and things like that. If you're just kind of pushing, like getting the kids into team sports and away from drugs, that's part of it.
Gotcha.
And then, volunteer, like neighborhood watch, that type of stuff. It's like there's a lot of ways you can increase the community involvement and keep crime rates down. As a matter of fact, do I have time to tell a quick story?
Listen, I am not in a rush. I'm the one that screwed up our time. Like I got nothing else going. Go hard.
So there's this, when we had just built our house and we started doing like the landscape in the front. And so there was a knock at the door and my husband answers the door and he's like, "Hey, I'm here from 811 DIG and I just want, to let you know that I'm here and all that." And my husband goes, "Oh yeah. Do you need to, I can show you right where the cable is." They're putting this thing over. He goes, "Oh, no. I don't need to know where the cable is. I know exactly where it is. I just don't want to get shot." So it's like, okay, yep, we are in Idaho.
Indeed, you are.
Yeah, it was so. It was great because we have 2 acres. It's a larger area, and it's like I feel safer here without having the neighbor like right on top of us. You know what I mean?
Right.
Anyway, so I just thought that was such a funny story. And so not that everyone's going to go around policing themselves. That's not what I meant at all. I'm just saying there are programs and there's ways that you can increase public safety without necessarily hiring more police officers. But right now, I think it's adequate. But like I say, I'm not 100% sure because I don't know how much it's grown in the last, our population is growing like every 2 weeks, it seems like. So I don't know exactly the numbers, but I would know where to look if I got elected. Yeah.
With the school program, and I haven't heard people bring this one up. Would you advocate for getting a hold of the school district and advocating like as a city school collaboration or something?
Because the school is not really associated with or connected with the city.
Yeah.
I would love to do that. I think that would be great. It's not. To be honest with you, Matt, it's not. Top of mind for me.
Gotcha.
Only because, well, not because, but I don't have kids of my own, but I've got tons of nieces and nephews, but it's like, I feel like the development and sticking to all of those contracts, making sure those are all followed. Everything that we've agreed on to now is moving forward without any, changes. That's been really important to me. Because it's also important to the neighbors and every single person I've talked to. That's like their main thing.
What's the main thing?
I'm sorry, the population growth.
Gotcha.
Growing, housing, all of that.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Talk to me about growth in housing.
Like what do you?
Well, if the main thing that people are concerned about, or like talk to me about the concerns. Talk to me about the whole thing.
Everybody wants to close the gate behind them. Honestly.
Yeah, 1,000%.
It's like, And we got that in Yorba Linda too. It was like, okay, now that I'm here, nobody else can come here. And it's like, well, that's lovely and all, but it's not feasible.
That's lovely.
It's not happening. I mean, look around. You can drive where we're at. You drive by these huge plots, like acres and acres of hay and corn, and that's part of the charm and the awesomeness, if that's a word, that brought us to Eagle. It's like, oh my gosh, look at all this open space. This is like, we're living in the country. And the issue is that some of that acreage has been already sold to a developer, and that's coming. So every time I pass one of those big white signs on the roadway that says public notice, but then all of the other writing is so small you can't tell what it is. You have to actually pull over and figure out and read what it is. So that's concerning because it's concerning for everyone because they don't see it. What they see is just like when we moved here, you see all this stuff, and then 2 months later they've mowed everything down, and now they're starting to do some grading. And so anyway, that's definitely a concern. But what's
the concern specifically?
Well, I think that people move here to Eagle because it's such a charming, beautiful city. There's so much open space, and it's really nice, and it's very homey, and it's like old Americana, honestly. And so when they see that stuff going on, like more and more building, it's like, oh no, they all, moved here from that stuff. They don't want that. And so sometimes they feel like they're backed into a corner, and they might get upset. So they might show up to council meetings very upset because they don't want that progress necessarily.
What do you think can be done then?
Communication. Honestly, more communication, super transparency, accountability for council. There's going to be more and more pressure on council and the mayor as time marches forward. So you've got to be accountable. You have to be able to explain this diplomatically. And this is going to sound so bad, but you have to explain it with genuine affection and compassion for the person you're talking to or the group you're talking to, because it's true. We're all the same. We're all here mainly for the same reason. And then we have the legacy families who been here. They've been here for decades and decades, and they're watching this whole thing like evolve. And some of them love what they see, which was shocking to me. And others are like, oh, our little town, it used to be egg farms and dairies and cornfields and chicken farms and all that stuff, and it's like, so anyway, it's
a lot.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, did I even answer your question? Sometimes
no, it's fine. I think
okay.
No. I think what you're saying is that there are some people that are very concerned that move here that don't understand the trajectory that Eagle's on, that have the expectation that it will remain the way they saw it when they were purchasing their home. And it doesn't remain that way because those lots were sold 20 years ago and being rented back to the farmer at $1 per year until that guy retired. And then the value of homes and land becomes such that the developer pulls the trigger on it. And then the person that moved here, because there was a field next to them, loses that field, and they're all upset. And what you're saying is the role of the city should be to help them understand ahead of time and during the situation, like, hey man, this was slotted to happen decades ago, and you're just experiencing it now and you're upset about it, which I understand, but that hasn't, like, your expectations or desires don't have anything to do with the contract that was negotiated 2 decades ago.
Absolutely. Perfect. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, I'm glad I summed it up. So talk to me about development downtown then, because the economics of Eagle are something that people have really paid attention to. There is a large concern that Eagle slips into the designation of like a bedroom community. We don't actually have a tax base. And then when we lose revenue from development, because Eagle only, I think, approves something like 300 houses per year or whatnot. So we don't actually have that much. We don't have that much growth. But that the income, it's slow. Whereas Meridian's doing like 300 a month or something like that. So again, when we don't have that revenue from construction with family houses, if we don't have a tax base that then floats the services or needs for upgrades in the city, then we kind of get into trouble. So talk to me about enhancing the economic prospects of downtown and attracting business.
Yeah, so being a business owner, I've gone through the process at the City of Eagle. And I've also talked to several business owners.
Sure.
So one part is we need to totally streamline that process for people. I opened a very small business. It's actually an office within a larger office. So I didn't build a building. I didn't,
Sure.
refurbish
Yeah, yeah.
anything. It's a brand new building. It's got all the info. Everything's at the city. And when I went to open or, get my business license and all that stuff, it felt like, and this is not a knock on staff because staff is great over there. They're super nice. They're very knowledgeable. But what it felt like was they weren't communicating with each other or other departments that they maybe could have to make it more streamlined for people and easier and friendly. Because one business owner was like, it seemed like the city didn't even want us to open here. They made it so hard for us. And I heard that repeatedly in Yorba Linda when I was a couple of years before I was even elected over there. And so that was one of my priorities too. When I got elected onto the Yorba Linda City Council was to streamline that business process for the business owners. And by the time I left 8 years later, a little while back, it was so much better. It was like, oh, Yorba Linda, it's a great place to open a business now. And it did take a long time, but still. So streamlining those types of processes would be fantastic. And the other thing too is you want to encourage people to come here, not just to make it easy for them to open, but you want to encourage them to come here because we do have that issue. If our revenue starts going down from property taxes and all that stuff, we do need this, more diverse revenue streams. And so there's whispers of big box stores coming in, and one of them would be fantastic. I'm sure you've heard of it. They're whispering about Costco coming in. Costco.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw the Boise Dev article. Yeah.
And so that's a possibility. And it's like, oh my gosh, that would be great if they could come. And then we have a gas station, a potential gas station and all that stuff, which would be good. Or no? I saw your face. Oh,
me?
Yeah. Oh,
no.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not. No. I'm not for against it. No, I mean, I know Costco gas is cheaper than the average, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm sure that people going up 55 would like it. I'm sure the stinkers next door wouldn't like it.
Right.
At Hill and 55.
I know.
So yeah, no, I don't.
I
love a Costco hot dog. I haven't been able to eat Costco hot dogs for like a decade or pizza because I developed a gluten intolerance.
Oh, no.
And I'm working with a guy, Peter Abram, in the city of Boise, Dr. Peter Abram, who's like, please God, he's like, listen, I work with, autoimmune, whatever all the time. And I got referred to him by people that had, children that had like celiacs or some issues. Dude, if I can eat a Costco hot dog again, like
you just pay for it later.
The bun, it's so, and the onion thing that you do this with, and it spits them it's like an auger. It just spits the onion. Oh my God. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah. So no, but what you're saying is it would be good to have Costco in.
It would. It's as an example of bringing in more businesses, more revenue. And then too, highlighting more of the Chamber of Commerce, kind of getting them out there, more marketing too, bringing people into the city in general.
Talk to me about that, right? How do you market to businesses? How do you market to people?
Well, how do I do it? Or I don't know.
Whoever you think should be hired to do it, like in the abstract, how do you do this? 'Cause people talk about attracting businesses. Like, okay, how do you do that?
Right. So, everyone's like, oh, I have a great website and all that stuff. It's like, okay, well, how do people get to your website? You have to drive them to your website. Well, how do you do that? So some people use mailers. Other people use magazines, the local magazine.
Yeah.
And some people, like the plastic surgeon who bought my practice in Yorba Linda, he is like, I'm not doing any print articles. They are a waste of time. He does only social media. And so it's like, maybe social media is the way to do it.
So like when you're talking about attracting business to Eagle, you're saying like the city of Eagle should take to social media?
Get it out there. Yes, for sure.
Gotcha.
Definitely.
And then say like, we have a lot of people who want to do business with businesses.
Yes. There's a Facebook group. I'm going to give a plug because you gave a plug.
Yeah. Wait, who did I plug?
Dr. Abram or something?
Oh yeah. The guy, I had him on the show. He was fantastic.
awesome.
Yeah. Really, really cool. Had like, again, it seems like every time I turn around, I have friends like, oh, I developed an allergy to this. It's like, why?
Yeah.
And he had like anybody interested to check out that show. He's pretty awesome.
I'm going to.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
going to. I love
I'm sorry,
all that
you were
stuff.
saying.
Oh, anyway, so there's this Facebook group. It's called Boise Business Babes. So it's women. It's got 6,500. Do you know them?
No, I love every second of this. Keep going. Oh my God.
And so they are very good about promoting businesses and having coffees and just getting the women out into the community and all that stuff. So I mean that's one way to do it is social media. It seems to be pretty powerful.
Like work with influencers and stuff.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, I guess some influencers. I mean, I don't know what you would.
Well, like Facebook, like if you have a big group that promotes people, that's like a Facebook influencer.
So what's the cutoff to be an influencer? Do you have to have like 10,000?
No, I don't think there's a technical cutoff. I think the concept is that your intention is to drive change within people's behaviors. Okay. So you could have 1,000 people and be like, I'm a dog food influencer and I do nothing but promote like raw organic dog food for your doggy, and it's like, and then, you go to the dog food companies, you're like, I'm an influencer and like, look at my views and all of these things. And they either agree whether you're worth their time or not. But gotcha. I think the idea is if you're promoting things or trying to sell a product or yourself, then you're like an influencer.
Oh, got it.
Now you could be a bad influencer and have like 100 followers. You could be a great influencer with millions, but I think influencer nonetheless.
Okay. Yeah. So I think working with influencers then for sure. And, I know this sounds like maybe expensive, but if you have a part-time person who's dedicated from the city to blast out things on social media, it really helps.
Yeah, I got you. You brought up Eagle Chamber. Have you met with Brandy or any of that? Yeah. So what do you think
so cute, but she's leaving.
I know. R.I.P. Brandy. She's not dead. She's just,
I know.
She's leaving. Brandy used to come in all the time. Like we would have like weekly shows and showcase little like Eagle. It was hilarious. She's such a nice person. She came in one time. There was this business called Guru Donuts down near the movie theater. And she was all super positive about Guru Donuts. And I'm like, is Guru Donuts a member? And she was like, no, they're not. I'm like, Brandy, why are you promoting them? Like, your job is with Eagle Chip. She's like, I know, but they're really cool. I was like, Brandy, you can't be promoting Guru Donuts unless they buy a membership. Like, we had this whole thing. It was fantastic. Yes. Yeah. So again, do you think there could be more done with the Eagle Chamber than's being done right now?
Yeah, I think that they could work a little more, just more visibly, I guess would be the word. Because they're, the city's doing a good job, as best it can. Chamber's doing as best as it can. Yeah. And that's one thing about me on council. I don't know of the other candidates if they have businesses too or not, but I'm constantly looking at that stuff through a business lens because that's just who I am. And then you're looking at ways to save money, to increase revenue, to be more efficient and make the most people happy as possible.
Yeah, right. Little rough pivot, considering make the most people happy. Talk to me about housing. Obviously, there's growth within the single family home, but there is a huge need, at least some people say, for mid-range housing, apartment housing. If you're 19 and you live in Eagle, where you're going to go, right? And that's an anxiety that I know a lot of people have, which is we want our kids to be able to thrive in Idaho. We want them to be able to come back to their hometown and have a place for them. And if all of the houses we build are only 4-bedroom, 2.5 baths, that's not really like a starter home or really an option for people to stay in the area. So kids end up graduating and then moving out, or they stay at home, which, could work for some people, definitely doesn't work for all people. So what do you think about apartments and kind of mid-range homeownership options?
Well, it's not even just kids. It's law enforcement officers, firefighters, nurses, teachers. I mean, there is a need for workforce housing for sure.
Yeah.
What I liked when I drove through, I should disclose this, when I drove through Valnova, my husband and I drove through there, it was so pretty. and we noticed like towards where Linder is, slated to go through. Back there were these gorgeous townhomes, and or they could have been apartments. I'm not sure. They were so pretty. And so it's those types of little carve outs that we could have in these developments. I hate to keep going back to Yorba Linda, but we would have, 20% of all new developments would have to be dedicated to seniors or veterans or moderate income workforce housing. That's how we did that. And so they'd also have to go with abide by our design standards and all of that stuff. And so I think that there is definitely a need for it. Where they're going to go, I hope it's in the development plans. I've seen some, and yes, they are included. I also talked to another builder who said that the homes that are $500,000 and less, they're having trouble selling those in Eagle. I thought that was interesting.
Where are those developments, though?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Because I mean, wow.
I guess maybe because of the permit process that's starting to get very expensive to build those types of homes. So now they're having to charge so much more. So those homes are like, they're not either being built or sold. Gotcha.
So effectively going back, it sounds like you're saying, look, when you make a development, to have a stock of attainable housing, we need to have a portion of it carved out, say like 20%, whatever the percentage is, for people that have with an age restriction, with a veteran restriction, or with an income restriction, so that if you have 100 units built, then 20 of those are going to that target target population that needs that more attainable housing.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It worked for Yorba Linda. It was great.
Gotcha. And do you think that, like, expressly outside of homeownership options, do you think that there is a need for more apartments in the city of Eagle?
More apartments? I'm not sure. I don't know about that.
So just maybe. Maybe yes, maybe no.
Maybe yes, maybe no. I'd have to look at those, numbers, I suppose. The numbers don't lie.
What is that saying? There are lies, there are total lies, and then there are statistics. Like, isn't that? Yeah. Did I screw that saying up? That's a saying, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, coming back to additional development, we talked about big box stores. I just realized this. We talked about big box stores, but there is, In-N-Out. We don't have In-N-Out.
Yes.
I mean, a woman after my own heart. Come on, a little In-N-Out action. When In-N-Out went in Meridian, I went out and stood in like 30-degree weather for hours to get the In-N-Out.
Wow, that's dedication.
Committed. But this was a big question within the city about what do we want with our city and the design with restaurants that are designated food. It's not fast food. It's food served quickly. So what do we, again, like the Chick-fil-A's, the In-N-Outs, the things of that nature, what do you think about how those fit within the city of Eagle?
That is tough. So my personal opinion is that I have to be very careful here.
Tell me you don't love a double-double. Come
I don't,
on.
But,
oh my God. This conversation is over. You can get right out. How are you from Yorba Linda and you don't like In-N-Out?
Well,
blasphemy.
I know. It's
don't tell me you're a Chick-fil-A gal.
Well, I like that, but yeah, my diet is really strange. It's what's not Idaho, and it's not an Idaho.
Come on,
diet.
What's your diet?
Well, I don't eat cows.
Do you eat pigs?
No.
Do you eat chickens?
Yes.
Okay. Wait, that's not pescatarian then. What is that? It's just the no cow or chicken? Or excuse me, no cow or pig?
Nothing. I guess nothing with fur.
Nothing with
I don't
fur.
know.
Wow. But feathers are good.
Yeah,
like
feathers.
You'd scrub an ostrich burger, no problem.
Yep.
Totally. Yeah. I don't have as much sympathy for our avian friends as I do for our mammalian friends. Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like birds.
Sorry,
I like birds.
We're
going to get my son a parakeet. I'm very excited because I grew up with parakeets, but it's also like, you get a parakeet. I had a parakeet and it died. And I was like, that's sad. But when my dog died, I was like,
that is devastating.
Devastating. It's a bird. Like, it's not the same. Yeah.
I know.
Anyway, so you don't care munching on chickens or ostrich or emu. You're just not cool with the swine or with the bovine.
Right.
Okay. What do you think about wild game? Where's like elk fit into
I
that?
tried elk. I went to, it was the Safari Club International conference in Nashville in January, and they served elk, and I'm like, I'm trying it. And it was like, well, I don't know who I'm going to offend when I say this, but it's like, it was not very good. I tried it though, Matt. Okay. I tried it.
Listen, you're in a good place for chicken. It's fine. Eagle used to be like the chicken farm. So like, it's all good. Have you seen the building downtown next to the fire station that used to be the chicken coop? So I go, originally when I was starting this podcast, I was making content literally in my closet with a green screen. And I was like, this is not the way. This is not, like the Mandalorian. This is not the way. Anyway, so I was like, well, I need to find a studio. And so there was this place that was available. I go downtown, check it out. And I'm like, these ceilings are slanted and really low. And I was thinking, I was like, maybe it wouldn't matter. Cause like for a podcast, you can't see much of the rooms. Like I was like, it doesn't feel quite right. And then I brought it up to somebody like, yeah, cause you were in a chicken coop. It's like when the chicken business moved out of town, they like converted some of the coops into, like mini office spaces. So there was like a watch repairman store. So it's like somebody would get the watches and just go to their little space and like with little gears and stuff. Yeah. Tiny people.
Oh my gosh. How funny.
Anyway. So it's rough with you and the food served quickly and not with In-N-Out at all.
They call it fast casual.
Fast cash. Well, I'm very casual when I go to In-N-Out. So you're not a huge burger gal.
No. But I'm, I like business, so business is good. But as far as like my personal opinion, as far as it fitting in with Eagle, like the downtown part, I don't know, maybe in the outskirts it's better, but the downtown part, I really would love to keep that just this quaint little charming Western city, honestly.
So what do you think of the current construction downtown?
What do you mean, that corner?
Yeah.
What do I think of it?
Yeah, that ain't no quaint Western city.
I know. And that's one of the things. So because there was a barber shop there, and I think it was another Italian place or something there. And my husband and I were there. It was, I guess it was 2021 or 22. And we were eating and looking across at the drugstore. No. And I was like, oh my gosh, that we should go into that drugstore. I haven't been into a drugstore in like for so long. And this is like an old Western place. Let's do it.
Then you're like, oh my God, they have tequila and plywood floors. Oh my God.
So in the window was this like a neon Coors sign. I'm like, why is a Coors sign here? And
it's like, awesome. Xanax and a beer. No sweat. What a combo, right? Could you imagine?
Exactly.
It's the West. Let people do whatever.
Yeah, right. And carry a gun.
Yeah.
Whatever. Right. And so we went in there and I was like, oh my gosh, this is like an old saloon. And then, I went back, several times. And then over the next year or so, started changing. I'm like, what happened? Oh, and they also knocked down that whole corner. And then they started building this thing. And then a new owner at the saloon. And I was like, oh, wow, this is very interesting. But there's, I'm not sure what the holdup is on that corner. No, I don't think, they tried to make it match. They tried very hard. There's brick, there's fake wood, there's, stuff on the outside. It's a pretty building if it was somewhere else, but it's nice, but there's also a bunch of vacancies still. So I'm not sure what that's about. I don't know.
Well, that ties into attracting business in the area, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We got to hit that Facebook, the Boise business babes.
Get on there. You're an influencer.
Help us. I am not an influencer. I do not advocate or sell anything. Nor do I
podcast.
Yeah, but I'm not. I don't have an intention of influencing anybody any which way.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just a dude with a microphone.
That's true. Yeah. That is true.
But let me tell you about this awesome portable sauna that I've been using. And for a limited time.
Commercial break.
You can go to theredtent.com. That sounds weird. I just made that up. But I was like, they have these ridiculous. Oh my gosh. When I turned 40, my lovely wife was like, I got you something. I'm like, awesome. Like I turned 40. Awesome. My wife got me something. And she was like, it's a red light sauna. I'm like, don't know what you're talking about, but like, okay. And it's not like, listen, it's not one of the like cedar red light or infrared, right? It was literally this tent that you sat in and your head stuck out. So it was like a mini tent. And it came with a chair. So you sat in this chair and then you zipped this thing up to your neck and it had little holes for your hand. So you literally just sit here like this. And She was like, this is great. It's great for like red light therapy. I'm like, I don't know that I've ever cared about red light therapy or ever will care. This is what an ingrate I am. I'm a terrible person. I tried it once. I was like, honestly, like, I love you. Thank you. I'm never, ever, ever using this again. So she ended up returning it. We got like an actual sauna, which is great. But
nice.
Yeah. But she, had seen this from an influencer and it was like, oh, this thing's really great.
Yep.
Like, this is a garbage bag with red lights on the inside.
Too bad it didn't have feet. You could walk around the house in it.
Oh my God. They have those. They're the most ridiculous. Or like red light tents when you're like, it's like a little change booth and you just sit in there. I'm like, can we just get away from this? Yes. Thank you. So look, no, I'm not an influencer and nor am I selling anything. Like I don't have sponsors. Anyway, so essentially you don't like the development downtown.
I mean, I hate to put it that way.
But I hate the building. There's a lot of hate flying around.
No, I don't hate. But
it's a gorgeous building somewhere else.
Yeah, it is. It is.
What would you, the corner directly across from there, right next to Rembrandt's, what would you put there?
Oh gosh, that would be great to have like a little family restaurant.
Like right next to Rembrandt's? Family restaurant next to family restaurant?
Well, I guess you're right. But they put them all like so close to each other anyway, because it brings them all in. Maybe.
What kind of restaurant? Because they got barbecue, they got bodacious on the corner.
Italian. Oh no, because Da Vinci's. That's a great place, by the way. I love that place. Yeah, I would have to think about that.
This is what you need to do. You need to get on the horn to your Yerba Linda people, and you need to tell them to get the best Chinese food restaurant that Yerba Linda has and send that dude or that gal up here, pitch the West Ada School District, say we have great schools here, and you know what, like we have a myriad of housing, don't tell them apartments, but like we have a myriad of housing, and we would love for you to move your business. Did you guys have good Chinese food in Yerba Linda?
Yes.
Oh my God.
It was so good.
Did you have good Mongolian beef?
Well, I wouldn't know.
Oh, you wouldn't know. You use Kung Pao chicken?
Yes.
Great. Kung Pao. I'll do Kung Pao all day long. Not too many peanuts, right?
No.
Sometimes they go hard on the peanuts.
Peanuts are the penny of the nut family.
They're the penny of the nut. What's the quarter? Almonds or walnuts? Macadamia nuts?
No, those are the dollar, I think.
Pine nuts? Pine nuts are like the nickel. Pine nuts are good on salads. Yeah, they have plus you get pine nut sauce. Come on. What's the quarter?
Cashews, maybe?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I can see where you're going with cashews.
Yeah.
They're experiencing hot. Did you know that comes from a cashew apple in Brazil?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, so cashews actually, they're not in a shell. There's a cashew apple and the cashew is on the bottom of the apple. And so they harvest the apple, pop the cashew off, and it does have like a little shell on it, but the apple doesn't transport, like it goes bad really fast.
Oh.
So you've never had a cashew apple, neither have I. We have to go to Brazil to go have a cashew apple. Like they have different fruit down there.
Well, how many cashews are on the bottom? Just
one. Yeah, it's just like one apple nut thing. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, wild times, huh? They also have Brazil nuts. Yeah. They grow in Peru.
Mm-hmm. You got to be careful with those. Don't eat too many at once.
I'm lying. They grow in Brazil. Oh. That's why they're called Brazil nuts.
Jeez.
I've had a lot of coffee today.
I can
listen. Where are we? We've taught In and Out. So like, what do you do?
In and Out. You definitely have to get to where there's enough room for that line and all of those people. So it has to go somewhere else. Big plot of land. So back to Yorba Linda, we have an In and Out, and we got it approved when we were negotiating with In and Out. Council was like, "Oh, we've got to have that In and Out. We have the perfect piece of property for it. It's gonna be great, and you could double it. Double
people.
no, you could double the line,
loop it back,
traffic, and blah 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 blah, and it wouldn't roll out into the street. And so that was super important to me, that you don't create this traffic nightmare web of horribleness. And so they were like, "Oh yeah, we got to do that." And I'm like, "Well, hold on."
DC, they're killer.
They just offered this price that they would pay. We can get more. And they're like, no, we don't want to jeopardize this. I'm like, oh no, we can get more. This is a very well managed company. This is their first offer to us. That's not how you negotiate. You've got to, we are going back. And we're also going to tell them you need to do these improvements to the land and blah, 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 blah. And they're like, without hesitation. They're like, okay, done. And everyone's like, oh, wow, we just saved like $1 million altogether. So
Yeah, I like $1 million.
anyway, so I'm not afraid to negotiate. I negotiate stuff all the time.
And you were saying earlier that you're worried about not attracting or making it too tough for businesses. Do you think that negotiating too aggressively might be like, it sounds like it worked out, but you're like, nah, man, negotiate hard.
No. Well, we, as you know, as the city, I don't know how much they're going to have to negotiate future projects like that. I think if a business wants to come into town, make it easy for them. If you can provide,
but also make
legally
it good for the city.
Yes, for sure. And if you can maybe provide some incentives for the city or the businesses of some sort, whatever's legal. I'm not sure about that. Great, bring it on. We brought a Maserati dealership into the city. It was just like, you just got to do what's best for the city, because Yorba Linda is also a bedroom community where there's not a huge retail or commercial center, although it's growing, but it's growing on the east side. And it's funny because Eagle has an east side and a west side that are kind of competing for things. Yorba Linda was the same thing. I just can't tell you how similar these two towns are, these two cities are. It's crazy.
Do you drive a Maserati? Maybe. Do you want to get... Okay, first off, do you know about the toy box? A buddy of mine owns a car, essentially club. Down State Street. It's fantastic and like super beautiful vehicles. And it's like he has events there, and you should definitely check it out if you're a car lady.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's called the Toy Box. It's
I've
really,
probably
really
seen
cool.
a bunch of their cars.
I'm sure you have.
Eagle Days and
he's
all that stuff.
He's a huge car guy. He can't. I saw him one day. He was driving this absolutely drop dead gorgeous Mustang from the 60s. I was like, Jeremiah, like that's a beautiful car. He's like, oh, thanks. Yeah, I just got it worked on recently. I was like, how? I mean, and he turned it on. I'd never like it growled. I was like, it was just this growl. I was like, oh my gosh, like what kind, how many horsepower is that? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know? So he had essentially commissioned this car. Like he had the car and he just gave it to his shop buddies and he was like, do it up. So it's like upgraded suspension, upgraded like engine. He's like, I don't even know how many horsepower it has. And it like roared. I was like, oh my God. Yeah. So that's the Toy Box guy. So if you're way into cars, check it out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, well, for sure.
It's a good time. We've talked about a myriad of things. What have we left out? What color is a Maserati? What color? Come on. What color?
No.
Come on. Blue? Is it blue?
No.
Is it green? Is it black? Come on. My Highlander is black.
Gray or whatever.
Gray, it's gray. It's like, is it like Flint mica? I love Flint mica. That dark gray.
Oh, maybe.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Keep going. What do we leave out?
Oh gosh, fiber optics is also.
Oh my gosh, parks. We've left out. My goodness.
Oh,
I apologize, everybody.
yes.
Parks and rec. So
you're gonna have to
we
edit
have
out that
we have
whole section.
no, we're good. We have fiber optics. We have the sportsman park. We have the shooting range. We have. Talk to me about these.
Okay, so the fiber optics, super. I think it'd be great for the city. I really do. Imagine how much it would benefit people that need, fast service.
Yeah, right.
Homeschoolers, telemedicine, because I'm a nurse practitioner, so that's top of mind for me. And
does Eagle? I'm sorry to interrupt. Does Eagle Library currently have a telemedicine pod?
That I don't know.
Because I know some spots are starting to pop those up within Eagle, or excuse me, within public libraries. Anyway, I'm sorry. Keep going. Yeah.
No, that's a great idea. If not,
it's great because people can then consult with people throughout the nation, and it's right at the local library. And you have a pod, so you go in, and like people can't look in. There are also sensory pods for young people that need like sensory differences and whatnot. Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. Keep going.
That would be super helpful. But I wouldn't want to make it mandated where everybody in the city has to pay these extra fees and, have it. It's like, basically, if you want it, you can sign up for it and then pay this fee on top of that. And it's hugely expensive. And so we would have to, the city could form a local improvement district and then send out a bond.
Urban renewal district? Wait, what's a local improvement
LID,
district?
Where you can set up a district and then have a fund and then have investors come in. It's like you're selling bonds basically. And so then the investors would come in and basically front the money, and then you'd bill for that, or they would make the money up through that way.
I have not heard of people doing that here. Local improvement districts. Gotcha.
And then the city could own the fiber itself and then contract it out or sell it out to the other providers, whoever can come in and charge people for that. So I think that would be awesome. I think that's a good idea. I'm not privy to all of the conversations that have been happening regarding that. So eventually, if I did get elected and were privy to that, I'd be able to definitely share that with everyone so that people could have all of the information they could possibly need about that. I mean, there's a lot out there, but I don't know all of it.
Gotcha.
And I think it would be a fantastic, way to do it. And then
So essentially, to cap the fiber, it's essentially just bond for it, get the funding, and then pay for it later.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
And let's see, what was the other one?
Oh, the sports park, the sports center.
Yes, off the 16.
Yes,
right, that one. Yeah. So that one's I love that idea. So it's already the city's already paid like $2.5 million around there for the engineering of it and certain plans and other pieces of that, you probably know. And then to have like the baseball diamonds and all those other things that they want to put out there, it would be another $7.5 million or so. I think it's 10 to 12 million total that they were budgeting for or wanting to do. If they needed more like that, more indoor facilities or certain lighting or other extra, like a pool or an aquatic center, that would be down the road. I think that'd be extra.
Sure.
But the funding would come from Valnova, the impact fees. So that they've already been starting to pay for that. So then when homes are built and all that stuff, some of the fees come down and they start paying for that. So basically, I mean, I think it's win-win for everyone.
Can you use impact fees retroactively like that? Because it was my understanding, I was talking to a mayoral candidate the other day about impact fees, and he was saying, look, the problem with everybody says, why can't you just fix the roads before the development comes in? And he was like, because the problem is if you're part of an impact fee system, then you have to show an impact of the development and then say, that's why we need the money now. But if you fix everything beforehand, you can't retroactively be like, we set up this road and that's why we're taking your impact fees now, right? So you would have to show some kind of impact to the sports area, right, from Valnova, like beforehand, as Valnova's put in before the sports park is done, right?
I think they've shown that. I think that money goes to some account, the city hangs on to it, and then basically reimburses them somehow. So, yeah.
Gotcha.
But I think that's a great idea.
So essentially Valnova is then going to pay for the sports park.
Yeah, that's how I understand it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
As far as parks in general, like West Park, right? Because that was the original slotting of where there was going to be another park, because there's no park west of Eagle Road. Like, how do we fix that?
How do we fix that? Well, we have to have land, right?
Have land.
So we have to have property, and it has to be, the deed restrictions or whatever has to allow for that. So I don't know how we would actually be able to do that. I know that it's about $250,000 a year to maintain the parks here in Eagle. So there's that. Plus, I guess we would just have to have land donated to us, I'm guessing. And then to get some, another group to pay for infrastructure and all of that type of stuff. But yeah, I would love to see a park on the west side, not just this big sports park, but
sure.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's space, especially considering the build out already existing for Eagle? Do you think there's space for integrating new park items like pocket parks, right? So, for instance, I was chatting with a mayoral candidate for Garden City. Garden City is interesting because it's landlocked, right? Like it can't really. There's a tiny spot that it can expand, but not a lot of area. So essentially, it's all infill. And so, in trying to improve their in trying to improve their area with parks and recreation, they're looking at, essentially having public-private partnerships with developers that essentially donate small plots. So you can't get like the 40 acres or the 20 acres, but it's like, okay, but if we could have 5 acres and make these little pocket parks, they're less to maintain. There's less of an ask of the developers and things of that nature. And it's also, in the event that the city has to buy them, it's far less of a burden. But you have a different, essentially, a product, like a different park product, instead of the large mass acreage. It's like, no, because we don't have the 40 acres, we just start increasing the little pocket parks.
Yeah. I love that idea. I think that's great. And then there's a bunch of open space in Villanova. What is that called? It's TerraView. Anyway, there's these areas that are supposed to have open space, and that Villanova is going to be pretty fantastic, although it's kind of a little bit far out there. But yeah.
Gotcha.
But that's a great idea. I like the pocket parks.
Pocket park seems so cool.
Yeah.
I was like, dang,
totally.
man. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be like a behemoth. You got more flexibility. So then you also have the capacity to put more parks in more areas instead of one big centralized park. Maybe you have like 3 or 4 little pocket parks that, you're not going to have 4 baseball fields and stuff. But okay, so we've talked about a lot. Now I think we hit the fiber, the sports park, pocket parks, which is very exciting. Anything else you want to hit?
No, I don't think so. I think, yeah.
So action items. You're calling Yerba Linda for the Chinese food place. That's great.
Yeah. You're getting hold of an influencer.
They're so weird. Have you ever talked to an influencer? You must have talked to an influencer before. You're in the health space. Like, there are all kinds of health influencers. They're so creepy. Like, I don't know if they're human. Like, you ever watch Shark Week on Discovery Channel? And it's like, how sharks have 2 eyelids, right? And it's like people that talk about like they got attacked by the shark and the shark just like sees through them. Like, that's what I feel like influencers are. It's like, they're not even human and they like bat their, double eyelid and you're like, yeah. It's like, do you remember Men in Black when he's like, he blinked and then he blinked with a different set of eyelids? It's like, that's what it is. And then they like climb up the side of a building. Like, this is the anxiety I get around internet people. That's what they are. They're not even
I'll
real
take
people.
that one then.
You're just Chinese and get a hold of the influencer. And the Boise business babes. Like, I would love to talk to them. If you know them, send them my way. I would love to know how they're improving. Because this is actually something that I think is hilarious. I interviewed this guy who's running for Garden City Council, Bill Jacobs, this morning. Lovely guy. I don't live in Garden City. Really enjoyed his conversation, but he was talking about having these like plans around Garden City, and they have like 8 different breweries and they have 8 wineries and they have like all this stuff, right? And we were talking about doing a pub crawl through Garden City. He's like, if I win, you and I are doing a pub crawl. I was like, yes, man. Like, because it's like anything we can do to enrich the economy in the area, like not as an influencer, but as a platform that cities use frequently. It's like, let's do that. Like, let's organize and make cool things happen and bring more business so more people have more money in the area.
Yep.
God bless America.
And so I just did, I like to do these little tiny videos and I'll put them on my campaign page or my Facebook page or whatever. And so when I was waiting out front, I'm going to do one for the Ranch podcast.
Oh, so did you put it on Instagram?
It's on Facebook.
God, you got to get an Instagram.
All right.
Beth, okay, anyway,
I have
on Facebook.
Instagram, but not
great.
the campaign, but
right. And you're like, shout out Ranch Podcast, here I come.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I hope you didn't show the address or any. Nobody can identify. Nobody knows where I am.
I did not, but no.
Next time, if I ever step up and like get better at what I'm doing and I get like a spot in the middle of nowhere, I'm going to put like blinders on people and drive them in circles for 10 minutes and like pull them so then nobody knows where we are.
Walk up a hill.
We're going through a tunnel. Anyway, Beth, thank you for coming in. Thank you for running. Obviously running political campaigns, as you know, as a successful politician from Yerba Linda, like it's not I've never done it, but it does not seem like an easy thing to do. And we need people bringing issues and ideas to the table, even if they don't win. Like this gal was telling me from Nampa the other, she's like, listen, she's like, I've run 4 times. And I was like, wow, why do you keep running? She was like, honestly, every time I've run, I've had ideas and at least one of my ideas has been integrated. And she was like, so I view it as my, duty to come forth and bring my ideas so the city does better, even if, she's not the mayor or something.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I had such appreciation for that. It's like, here it's all this effort and she knows slim chance, but she's going after it, which I appreciate.
I know. It's like if I, win, which I hope I do, but win or lose, I'm the happiest person I know.
Oh my God. You and your horse.
My dogs. Yeah. I have 2 miniature donkeys. I have a great husband.
You have a
Yeah.
miniature donkey?
2.
Shut up. Do you have pictures?
Oh, yeah.
Let me see a picture of your miniature donkey right now. Come on. I've never seen a mini donkey.
No way.
Do they go like, oh?
Oh my gosh. Is this going to be on the podcast?
Yes, of course it is.
Jeez.
Let me see this donkey.
Here's their names.
Stop.
Slash and Axel.
I have a French bulldog named Axel, and
No
he
way.
has similar ears. Wait, these are at your house?
Yeah.
How much land do you need for a mini donkey?
Well, you should have an acre, but we have 2. Yeah.
And they just run. Can you ride them? Do you ever
No.
ride the donkey?
If you have a little baby, you could.
How big are the
their
donkeys?
Shoulders are only to there.
Oh my! And you just have these for funsies.
Yeah, they keep my horse company.
Slash and Axel.
Get it?
Oh, I got it. Don't you worry. Okay, you'll have to send me that picture. I'll put it up on the page.
Oh my
Anyway,
God!
this
you
is
will?
this is
Oh,
great.
they
Can
would
I
love
come meet Slash and Axel?
Yes, of course.
I don't have 2 acres, but I have, like just over an acre and a half. And I really want to get like a mini, oh, thank you. I really want to get a mini, oh, come on, a Highland cow.
Oh, they're adorable.
Right. I actually want a full size one, but
Well, because you want to eat it.
yeah, that too. I want to breed them because they're like $25,000. I want to breed them. I want to quit my podcast gig and I'll just hang out at home and breed Highland cows all year long and then I'll eat them.
No, you can't.
It'll
quit.
be great.
You cannot.
It's going to be fantastic. Anyway, Beth, thank you for coming. This has been a hoot.
you.
Good luck with your campaign and thank you for running.
Thank you.